It was almost as if the clouds summoned the stars. The impetus this Open Championship arrived in the most unlikely of circumstances as squally second-round conditions formed a backdrop to a much-needed cavalry charge. Dr. The third major of the year, hitherto a slow burner, has a beating heart. Tommy Fleetwood, Rory McIlroy and Zach Johnson warmed the mood of Carnoustie galleries who had been reacquainted with a cold, wet Scottish summer's morning. Johnson and Kevin Kisner share the 36-hole lead at 6 under par. Fleetwood, Pat Perez and Xander Schauffele are one behind. A leaderboard stacked with golf's modern-day royalty equates to a wide-open championship. Whomever claims the claret jug on Sunday evening will not be accused of a lack of versatility. Day 2 had seen the return of Carnoustie until the afternoon wave was afforded respite. By close of play, Jordan Spieth, Ricky Fowler and Matt Kuchar could be added to a delicious mix. Spieth, who carded a 67, and Fowler are in the group at 3 under, with Kuchar a stroke better off thanks to a converted birdie putt from 30 feet at the 18th. Tiger Woods, over whom a series of question marks still hover, cannot be discounted when 6 back. Kisner was perfectly happy for attention to be diverted elsewhere. He was perfectly happy, full stop, until the 18th hole. Playing in the more benign of Friday's conditions, after Fleetwood, McIlroy, Johnson and Woods had departed, Kisner reached 8 under par before launching his final approach shot of the day into the Barry Burn. Kisner's careless error meant a double bogey into 70. Fleetwood's 65, 6 under par and for a 5 under total, was free from scorecard blemish. An inward half of just 32 laughed in the face of those who are at pains to assert just how treacherous Carnoustie's closing stretch is. When describing this as a spirited effort, Fleetwood was guilty only of gross understatement. This was the round of the day by far. Fleetwood's prominence is hardly a shock, even if his opening round of 72 was. There feels an inevitability as attached to the Southport man breaking his major weight, a sense only enhanced by Fleetwood's rocket-fueled Sunday at last month's U.S. Open. Carnoustie holds particular significance in Fleetwood context, given his course record 63 here produced in the Dunhill Links Championship of 2017. McIlroy is a 4-time major champion. Johnson has 2 to his name. Both have won the Open and Spieth is defending the claret jug. All 3 will be perfectly aware of Fleetwood's threat level over the final 36 holes of the 147th championship. The man himself has had to adapt to self-made circumstances. You always have expectation on yourself, Fleetwood said. That's just a given, really. But the rest is something that you get used to and something that you have to learn about. At the same time, it's much nicer than having no eyes on you at all. Fleetwood has no problem putting the end game to one side. 36 holes is a long time, he added. The Englishman will hope that spell sees him retain his touch on the greens, having used the putter just 26 times on Friday. Johnson probably does not get the respect he deserves for being not just a Masters champion but an Open winner at St. Andrews. What the 42-year-old lacks in panache he more than makes up for in fortitude. Typically, Johnson's 67 was overshadowed by the exploits of Fleetwood. Yet Johnson's total is the better of the pair. He has now made 11 Open cuts in a row, with eyes once more on a bigger prize. Johnson said, "The reverence I have for this championship and specifically that trophy, that claret jug, I'm not suggesting that someone doesn't have a higher reverence for it, but I'd argue with them. There was a time when McIlroy would not have properly handled what nastiness the elements had to fling at him. The question of whether he now relishes grim weather didn't quite elicit agreement. I wouldn't say I like it," McIlroy said. The key fact, though, is the Northern Irishman's ability to perform in a variety of circumstances. He had signed for a 69, meaning 4 under for the tournament. McIlroy, who seems to have garnered newfound confidence on the greens, had reached 5 under par when making birdies at the 13th and 14th. The handing of a shot back to the course, on 15, was far from disastrous. The last time McIlroy started the Open with successive sub-70 rounds was in 2014, he duly won at Hoylake. Sign up for the recap, our email roundup of editors' picks. Ian Poulter's Open last just 2 days after his second round of 81 meant an aggregate of +12. Padraig Harrington, who won here in 2007, was afforded the same fate after his Friday 74 contributed to an 8-over total. Sergio Garcia 71 for +4 continued an unwanted run for the Spaniard, meaning he has now missed 4 cuts in his last 4 majors. Justin Rose's only birdie of the day, at the 18th, edged him into the weekend by a shot. Carnoustie has no regard for reputation, something those who remain as part of the equation will know only too well.